JJ the CPA here. Hope you're doing well. We are kicking off a new podcast called Open House, and I am here with my lovely and beautiful wife, Amanda. How are you?
I am doing well today, JJ. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you already knew that, but we have got our makeup ready to go, and hair's good. We think we got a background. We think that we're going to get something that's a little more colorful here, but pink's your color.
Pink is my color. I do try to wear pink every single day. I know there are other colors out there, but I do try to wear pink every single day.
Who are you leaning forward for?
I was,
We've got a microphone,
I
we
know.
got all this tech. Now you're leaning forward, Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, because I'm not editing that out.
I know.
Here we go. All right. But then I got my pink on.
I know.
So Amanda is a realtor here in Oklahoma, and quite frankly, you're only able to work with people in Oklahoma. So this is not a podcast to try and get you to either hire me as a CPA or her as a realtor. What we want to do in the Open House podcast is talk about basically the real estate industry, focusing in on residential. And today we're going to covering the very controversial, for some reason, which just doesn't make any sense. Everybody's minds blow and it's like very polarizing when we talk about this issue, which just really doesn't make any sense to me. Interest rates. Oh, I said it. Interest rates. And we're going to talk about, though, how does that affect the sales price? Because I kind of use this term. If you don't really follow what we're saying or you're saying about this, which quite frankly I learned from you, then I don't really think you understand the basics of actually money. And I don't mean to insult you, but what I mean by that is that there's those out there that they just have their head set on it and they can't hear anything else. I'm hoping that you will be open-minded when we talk about the interest rates and how it affects inventory and how growing families are staying in place if they own a house. Us as empty nesters are staying in place as owning a house, even though we'd like to downsize. We're going to talk about something you've put together with who you've been partnering up with and kind of how you're trying to educate here, even locally. And then we're going to be talking about the aspects of why you need a realtor. And everybody's like, well, what do you need a realtor for? Huh? I'm just paying out these commissions. Hello. Okay. So a lot around that. And you're going to be going to a pretty in-depth seminar talking about the big changes that have happened coming in July and after related to realtors. But I think we do a special on that one, kind of focused in, and maybe realtors would be able to get something out of that as well.
100%.
So why are we calling it the open house?
Well, because this is Sunday and we're going to release it at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Realtors do open houses between 2 and 4, so why not?
Yeah, I thought it would be fun if we maybe did a podcast at an open house that you're doing.
Ooh,
Might have to actually do it at our house because I don't know if we'd be able to get permission from whoever's house you're selling or representing.
Maybe I do know people. So.
Yeah. So you're with
Oklahoma Real Estate Company. Yes, here in Edmond, Oklahoma. We were actually in downtown Edmond. And
yeah, don't get too salesy.
Yeah.
Because realtors all of a sudden sound salesy, and this isn't about people trying to hire you unless you're in Oklahoma.
Yeah. So yeah, we are a small boutique firm. We only have 10 agents on our team, and we love everything real estate.
Well, what's unique about Oklahoma, though? You've got two sides of the coin there.
Yeah, Oklahoma is also a custom home builder. So we also represent Oklahoma Home Builder. They are 100% custom, never built the same floor plan twice. Home builder.
So really putting it together, and they have an on-site architect.
Yes, we have an in-house design team and an on-house architect that will walk you through the whole process. So we like to coin that we are a little different in that area because not a lot of people do that. A lot of people go somewhere else and have their plans drawn and then they take it to a builder. In our situation, you get to work weekly with the builder as well as the architect to get the house plans to where you want them.
True realtor, right? Just right into the sales mode. So what we really want to drive home is that we're trying to put this out, on YouTube, it's all over right? This
Right.
is all over information.
Yeah,
And a lot of people that do YouTube videos and podcasts, and it's all about, so come hire us. Listen, that's not what this is about.
no,
With that being said, though, we have some land down in a slice of heaven in southeast
yes.
Oklahoma. I look forward to us doing a podcast
Oh, that would be a lot of fun.
down there.
Yeah.
It's all wooded right now. It's a little over an acre, and the view, you wouldn't think this in Oklahoma, but the view is unbelievable.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, let's dig into the controversial. This is about where everybody's going to tune out,
Yeah.
right? Because we're getting ready to say something, and it's this. There's always going to be an effect on the sales price of real estate based on interest rates.
Yes.
And if you approach, here's the basic concept that I learned from you. If you approach that when you buy real estate, you are locked in forever, can never change your loan, could never refinance, you could never do anything about it, then you're right. Why would you buy when the interest rate is high, right?
Mhm.
And you're going to talk a little bit about, well, is it really high? But here's the other thing. When interest rates are high, the inventory is low, which means that the prices are here. So when you then go, well, I want to wait for the interest rate to drop. Well, then guess what happens to the sales price? It goes up. So if you're really thinking about this and you're being conscientious about your money, this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to pay more for something just because the interest rate is low. Because you ready for this? Here's the big magic trick. You get into your real estate when the price is low, because now that's what you're in debt for as long as you're in the property, right? So wouldn't you want to make sure that you're getting the best price? Yes. And if you're like, well, I'm not happy with the interest rate. Well, the thing is you can refinance when the interest rate goes down, but then you only borrowed this. So you loaned here, you wait for it to go down here on your interest rate, but here's what most people are doing. They go, well, here's the interest rate. I want to wait for it to go down, but then they're borrowing this much more money. So that is what doesn't make any sense to me. All right, I'm the CPA. I talk through the numbers, already have talked way more than half the time. Talk about the interest rates in general. So when interest rates are high, and when interest rates are low, and really what you're talking about with buyers and sellers, right now.
Yeah, so you can tell he's a Realtor husband and he's also a CPA, the best CPA in the world, because he covered all the aspects of it. And so just to briefly recap what he said, whenever interest rates are lower or higher, home prices are going to seem kind of average. Whenever they drop, home prices are going to go up because why? The demand for homes are going to. We have millions of Americans that are sitting on the sidelines right now waiting for the interest rates to drop. And as soon as those interest rate drops, all those people are going to rush towards the market because we are part of the problem. We are sitting in a home. We have a wonderful interest rate. We're not wanting to, we want to move, but we're not going to move right now. So I know I have the conflict of being a realtor and the fact that I should tell him, yes, this is the best time to list our house. However, the normal wife person of me is like, well, we should probably hang on to it because we have such a great interest rate. So I am 100%, we are 100% part of the problem. But all of those people are standing on the sidelines. They are waiting, just like we are, to get into the market as soon as interest rates drop. However, prices are going to go up because, like I said, the demand is going to go up. We are never going to get back to 2, 3, maybe even low 4% like we did during the pandemic. That is never going to happen. Now we have seen, I will say this, it's 2024, it's May now of 2024. We have seen that there has been a little bit of a shift. I think that people are starting to realize this is the new normal. We aren't really truly going back, even though this is an election year. No one's coming in and throwing those interest rates down. So I do think that people are starting to see that this is, okay, this is just going to be the new normal and are being less afraid to get out there. It's slowly happening and we would like it to be quicker, obviously, because here in Edmond, we'll use that for an example, we have 2.5 months worth of supply for
What's that
homes.
mean, though?
So if today is May 2nd, let's say that nobody put a house on the market at all, like it just shut down completely. No one ever sold another home. We would only have 2.5 months worth of supply of homes available, and then we would be completely out.
So basically, all the houses that are on sale right now,
Right,
if no new ones went on sale,
yeah,
the inventory would be run out in 2.5 months.
correct.
Yeah. You know, and where part of the problem is that right now we have a low interest rate.
Yes,
And quite frankly, though, if we wait for the interest rates to go up and we then sell, well, the price of our house is going to go up, right? So right now it's a buyer's market.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think, because they're just so tunnel vision on, well, but the interest rate and the interest rate, because once I'm in it, there's nothing I could ever do. I'm stuck with it forever.
right.
No.
Yeah.
So right now it's buyer's market. Why? Because the prices are here. When the interest rate goes down, prices are here, and then it's a seller's market.
Yes.
Right? So when it's a seller's market and prices go up, kind of what happens to inventory then typically?
Well, inventory will,
I'm just going to tell
I'm
you.
sorry, I don't know why I keep doing that.
I want to get closer to the audience and speak up loud. I'm having fun with you.
Yeah,
No,
whenever,
I'm in front of the camera.
I know, I'm
Right.
not,
Yeah.
I'm not. Whenever it becomes a seller's market, the sellers are going to be the ones that are controlling it. There's going to be less seller incentives right now, or whenever that happens. There's going to be multiple offer situations happening whenever that happens, because the demand has grown. Buyers are going to come out, they're gonna be like, oh yes, I want this house. We're gonna go back to where people are fighting over a house. And right now, I know JJ said we were in a buyer's market. We are actually truly in the middle. We're not really a buyer's market or a seller's market right now, because we have so many incentives going out to the buyers, but then we also, our inventory being what it is, the buyers are kind of controlling what is happening right now too. So we are kind of sort of in the middle. It is more of a buyer's market. However, we are kind of teetering in the middle a little bit.
So when it really is a seller's market, which just means that, hey, prices are up, but everybody's like, woohoo,
Right.
interest rate went down.
Well,
They're going to be the sheep that just follow everybody and go, oh, interest rates are down. It must be time to buy. But what happens to the inventory then?
Whenever that happens, then the inventory will grow whenever it is a seller's market.
Okay. So right now it's 2.5 months. Does that mean that properties would be with a month inventory?
Correct.
Okay. So they're going to go quicker.
They're going to go quicker. Yeah, they are going to go quicker. But the sellers are going to be the ones that are going to be in control of everything.
Okay. Okay. So one of the things that before you became a realtor, that I thought was like, what a scam being a realtor. Like, what a scam. You just go, boop, put it on the internet, just sit around, drink your coffee, need a chocolate bar.
Wait for all those offers.
Just wait for the offers and then push a button and it's sold. But with realtors, the amount of education that you had to go through, and I don't mean a degree, but the real estate school, passing the real estate school exam, passing the exam for the state, all the continuing education, what you had to do for additional initial continuing education, everything you have to keep up with, and as many regulations. You ready for this? As a CPA, I don't know that your exam was harder than mine, okay, per se, but you had to do way more prep. I understand that I have to have a degree in 150 hours, but very direct prep. And then the amount of guidelines and rules and regulations and how much detail there is and what you have to go through and how many times you're involved with somebody and it doesn't end up happening or working or whatever the case is. And many just think, oh, you put it on the internet, I just go to Zillow. Well, that's not the case. Maybe you could initially find that. But when you have somebody that reaches out to you on Zillow and they go, hey, I want to see this property, how many times do they actually buy that? Because that seems to just really be a starting point by going to the internet to go, well, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I think I like this one. But then once you now have built a relationship, let's say representing the buyer, how does that then work for the person you're representing in terms of what properties do they end up wanting to look at? What questions are you asking? And then how do you actually protect the buyer when that comes into play? And with our new regulations, we'll talk about it later, but in terms of getting paid, I know that there's going to be some new things around that. So maybe we actually don't talk about that because
Right.
you need to go to that.
I need to go, yeah.
Well, the only reason for that is that if you're not aware, like there's a brand spanking new, still being developed in the detail and the minutia on how buyer agents are being paid. So
yeah,
with that.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say probably 95% of the time, whenever, let's say we got a lead from a Zillow phone call, that client does not get that particular house. So I think that a lot of people do think that realtors just go and open doors and showcase houses. I appreciate the respect that you have given the industry, and or we both have given the industry, because I mean, I've always loved real estate, but I wasn't actually a realtor, obviously. So I didn't know everything that I was going to have to do or be responsible for. And it's a lot, and I love it. But whenever we reach out, or Zillow call reaches out to us, yeah, that house is probably just a starting point. It's very rare that you walk into it and they're like, yes, this is the one, and then we just go straight into contract. That is very seldom. So we will establish that contact. We will meet with them. We will get our buyer's brokerage agreement signed that just states they are hiring us as their realtor. And then we start looking at houses, which means that I have to visit with them, find out what exactly it is that they're looking for, what's their budget, make sure that they're in with a lender, then get into our MLS system, search for the homes, get them to them, yes or no, schedule the showings to go out and visit them, and then whenever they do find the one, then that's whenever you really turn it over to your real estate agent, and they're the ones who work on negotiations to get it underneath contract. And then we are the ones that supervise inspections and so on and so forth until we get them into the closing table.
You really simplified it, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You're being very modest in terms of that. I want to add some, just kind of being the one that sees it as well, is that I just know, I mean, the other night we were having some Mexican food and you got a call, and somebody that was from Zillow, and you're working with them, great couple. And, you know, one of the first things that you really ask them though is, well, what do you like about the house that you're looking at? How many bedrooms do you want seems to be a basic, but then it goes to, well, who's living in the house? How long do you expect to live here? Are you an investor? Is this something that you plan to be in long term? Are you pre-approved? If not, can we get you to a mortgage company that can help you with that, helping them determine, okay, well, based on that, here's your interest rate. That all sounds simple, but then when you're going to the property, I know that you're looking at, okay, well, what kind of cabinetry? And I mean, you can paint it, but people are looking at, well, the coloring, and then the backyard, and then the neighborhood, and the safety. And,
yes.
But it's not just that, it's then taking that to go, okay, well, then here are all these other options for you. So when you're now got kind of that breakdown from somebody and getting a feel of what they really like, and now you're going and looking at other listings, which I understand somebody go, well, I can just go to Zillow and look at all these other listings, right? But you have a different set of tools that you're able to go to. So then when you're going back to them, you're being much more specific, and really now putting in front of them. But you know, what's really interesting that I learned from you is in the market of buying new construction. So talk about what's kind of going on with that and some of the incentives that builders have. And it really becomes a time where in this environment, you go, well, maybe it would make sense to buy new, but why?
Well, there are tons and tons of builder incentives out there right now for new construction. We have a wide variety from all different price points in the Edmond, OKC metro area. That is new builders, but they want to make new construction attainable for people. And not to say that there isn't anything wrong with buying an existing home. There absolutely is not. But as again, I said, the inventory is so low. So that means that it's kind of slim pickings out there. And so we have a lot of and then you also have all the incentives that these builders
And
are
what are
offering.
those incentives?
So a lot of them are offering to pay closing costs if you use their lender. They're also buying down rates if you go through their lender. Some of them are offering like $20,000 that you can go and do with whatever you want, is the meaning that you can take that to buy down your interest rate. You can take it to use closing costs. You can take it to get upgrades in your current home. So the builders right now are doing an amazing job at reaching out to those buyers and this isn't just for like first time home buyers. Like this is also something that people can do with a conventional loan as well. So it's a really, really awesome time to consider new construction. That is what, whenever the client that he was just telling you guys briefly about, she contacted me on Zillow and she was mainly looking at an existing home. And whenever I talked to her and went through everything that she was looking for, her budget, her needs, her location, what she wanted, I said, have you considered new construction? And she said, oh, I know I can't afford it. And I said, well, I'm here to tell you that you can, because we have some awesome builders right now that are offering great incentives to get you into that house. So then we went and we started looking at new construction, and I really think that that will be the way that she goes. And whenever I met with them in person, she was like, I cannot believe that I could possibly get this and live in a brand new house, because she was looking at homes that were built in like the 1970s, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. But whenever you have a single person that could possibly get into new construction with all the warranties that the builders are offering, it's just awesome.
Yeah. Well, and probably what those that like to be cynical towards
Yeah.
realtors. So you gotta remember, I'm a husband here, so this is when I use the other voices. Like, oh, we'll see that, there's what you did. You just had somebody and then you just upsold them. And
Yeah.
you're selling them new construction and you probably bought, now they're gonna buy something that's 100,000 more than what their original, because you're just basically a car salesman. So here's the deal though, you're talking about, okay, now we're looking at, okay, well, from this, if you're able to do this with the home builder, new construction incentives, you're getting in for whether it's the same price or the same effective price or with the interest rate, because right now, if rates are here, after you're working with the builder, nope, your rate is here. Why? Well, you just said they had to go to that mortgage company. No, they went to that mortgage company because that new builder has 20, 30, 40 homes, and they have found a bank that goes, we'll close on these. And you have a builder that says, well, we'll throw down 10 grand. How does that buy down the rate? It's called buying points, basically. And so you go, well, the interest rate's here, but if you prepay 10 grand, well, the interest rate's going to be here. What is that? Well, they're buying down the rate. So we didn't put our timer on. I want to make sure we don't go too long.
I just
leaving that
realized
up
that.
to you.
I know.
The producer.
Well, I was wearing two hats today, everybody, so I apologize.
So I'm going to throw up on the screen real quick, but my wife is an author. You've come out with your first children's book, but it's about real estate. We're going to put a link, but talk about your book and who Piper is.
Yeah, so this is about a little girl named Piper who is going on a grand adventure. And her grand adventure is that she is moving into a new home. She's having to leave her friends and having to start a new school. So we have tons and tons of families out there that are moving due to relocation, new jobs, divorce, other reasons why people are moving, prices, affordability, all the things. And I just started to look on the internet for some closing gifts for children, and I really didn't see that much out there. So I've wanted to write a children's book since I was a little girl and just never started it. So Piper is going on her grand adventure, and her parents do a lot of things, and her friends as well, to make moving fun. And it does talk about that, yes, moving is scary too, but it can be fun as well. And like, here she is getting some new socks from at a party that her friends threw her. So this is just a really cute book that I'm saying it's really cute. I've had a lot of people that have given me great reviews on it saying that they really did help their child whenever they had the conversation about moving, because we don't think about that either. You know, it's all about like, oh, parents are doing whatever we can do. We have to do this, we have to do this, but you know, the kids are resilient, they're gonna be fine, and they are. But I've had to have those conversations with my children about moving, and they're not always comfortable. So this is just hopefully a way for parents to be able to start the conversation with something funny.
Well, and we were just at an auction that was raising money for charity that the real estate community was putting together,
Yes.
the Edmond Board of Realtors, and somebody was bidding on your book. It was
Yeah.
up for auction, and the person who ended up winning, you got to go and meet them. And with that, they said, "Oh my gosh, I'm looking so forward to giving this to their client."
Yes.
Because they have a little one
Mhm.
that is not looking forward to moving.
Right.
And is kind of having some issues related to that. And this realtor thinks this might be a nice gift. So
Yes.
we've got a link to it in the body of the video here that you can go and check it out. It's on Amazon. I did want to let you know, I am partnered with Home and Money. And Home and Money is a spot that if you're not in Oklahoma, because we want you to check out Amanda, and you're like, well, JJ, I thought you said this wasn't about hiring a buyer. Give me a break, right? So with this being said, if you're outside of Oklahoma, this is a spot, I'm going to put a link in the body of the video to this as well, that you can find realtors that have been kind of vetted, if you will. There's over 50,000 realtors here. And with that, though, here's the deal. There are a ton of free calculators on my landing page with Home and Money, talking about the interest rate, how much would you need to put down, what can you afford, what would be your payment, et cetera, renting versus buying, et cetera. Also, for those that are looking for grants, then this is a spot where you can find grants. I mean, there's some ridiculous grants.
There's amazing grants out
in
there.
Oklahoma. And in Oklahoma, what's the grant going on right now that you were talking to our boys about? For new home buyers?
Oh, yeah, some of the, well, there's a, oh, my brain just died. Sorry.
So if you're a new home buyer, you can get up to $20,000 towards
$20,000
towards down payment. See on the numbers.
You are, he is, yes.
So anyways, but this is a grant. And if you're like, can you stop talking about Home and Money? I just wanted to listen to your podcast. Hey, listen, money makes the world turn around, right? And I get that YouTube is free. But at the end of the day, what I want you to do is check this out, because also this is a spot that you can find opportunities to get with mortgage companies. So
yes,
the reason I partnered with them, because I mean, if you click on it, I'm going to make like a few bucks, right? It's like just not a lot to it. But the reason I wanted to team up with Home and Money, partner with them, is that I found it as a genuine resource. Yeah. And with that being said, I feel it's important to get a realtor. And this is not a website where you go and find properties, and it's all free.
It's all free.
So hopefully we've hit our mark on the time.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have some new stuff in the backdrop
next time.
And I think next time we're going to talk about a little bit what kind of relationship do you want to have with your realtor? When do you start it? And when do you want to pull in your tax advisor? I'd like to talk a little bit about those that want to get into flipping properties.
Yeah.
I also have another podcast that's focused in on real estate. Now that's more directed towards realtors and tax savings, and is directed towards the real estate investor, whether you're flipping, buying and hold, whether it's residential, whether it's commercial. So I'm going to put in the body of this video a link to that. And with that being said, we've got our first podcast in the bag.
So what
do you think?
We can bang our gavel, as Kaylee would do, because meeting adjourned.
That's right. So with that being said, hey, thanks for tuning in. We'd love it if you'd subscribe. And then don't you ever forget, you've never met a realtor quite like Amanda, and you've never met a CPA quite like me. Oh, very kind.
Bye, guys.
You have a great one.
You too.
Good job.
Thank you.
We did
you
it
as well.
One in the bag.
Woo-hoo.